Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. Remember, square root, any negative number, the answer is imaginary, right? So the answer for the square root negative 64 is AI. Multiplication by square root negative 25 FII. I suppose you remember very well this, no? You say you could be basically the square root 25 without negative FI, and it's I because it's negative, okay? And now finally multiplication of 40I squared, but I know very well I squared, and negative 1 is real. Now the answer is negative 40. End the story. Any question? Any question? No?
Wait, I got a question, sir.
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. Are you gonna be going over test two at all, or the assignments that you posted, like the latest assignments that you posted?
I don't understand. Repeat again the question. You talk about
Okay,
you.
on Alex. On
Uh,
Alex, you posted a new set of
yeah,
assignments
but don't
with
worry, don't worry, don't
test
worry.
two.
You don't touch this. You don't touch. Your goal is completion the test number one. Mhm. Number two, I post a little bit, sequentially. But no, no, no. This is due date March something. Okay? Don't worry for the test number one now. Remember, everything is due February 2nd. Test on paper and test online. So normally, February 2nd is, let me see in the calendar. February 2nd is Monday, I guess so, no? Let me see calendar. February 2nd. No, no, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Okay, okay, Tuesday, February 2nd. Go February 1st or February 2nd. Let me see this in the syllable. Syllable. MAC1105. Syllable. Print. Okay. No, 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 no. February 1st is due. According to the syllable, February 1st is due the test one. The February 1st, is next Monday, at midnight, of course. You need to submit
All right, got it.
the.
Thank you.
Okay. February 1st, we have a new chapter. We start a new chapter, no? But new chapter, but at midnight is the time that you have available to submit to me the answer on paper and in Alex. Okay? Any other question? No? Okay, so this is for I, likewise. This is 2I, because the square root 4 is 2, and 7I. Multiplication, 4 times 2 is 8, times 7 is 56. I cubic. Pero I know that I cubic is negative I. So I cubic is imaginary. Any power of I, is odd number, is imaginary. The final answer is negative 56I. Final answer. I recommend the final answer always you enclose in the box to indicate the final answer. Any question? I guarantee you in the test, you see one problem similar to this, in which you have multiples square root of the negative number, no? Go. Tesi. Okay. Negative 36, negative 81, negative 16, and negative 9. This is 6i. This is 9i. Corey, I have class today. 4i and 3i. Then when you multiplication 6 times 9 times 4 times 3, yeah, new link. Every class I send new link. Because when I drop one student, you do not receive this link. Okay, got it. Thank you. Conan. Entonces, multiplication es multiplication 6 times 9 times 4 times 3 es 648, pero es I to the 4th power because we have 1, 2, 3, 4. But I know I to the 4th power is positive 1. Es real here. Es positive 1. Entonces, the answer is 648. Done. Any question? No problema. Do you understand very well this? So you have at least the first question in your hand. The second question is about power of I. For example, the 4, 5. Let's do it 4 and 5 simultaneously. This is 15 and this is 18. So remember the shortcut. Shortcut is you take 15 divided by 4 by hand, of course, is 3, 12, subtraction 3. And I don't care, the only number I care is this number. This is equivalent IQ. This remainder is the exponent, the new exponent. Connor Johnson. And this is negative I. The answer is negative I because I know by memory that IQ is negative. Okay, likewise, 18. 5 by 4, F4. 4 times 4 is 16, remainder 2. This is equivalent I squared, and I squared I know that's real and negative 1. Don't final answer. Any question?
Can you scroll up a little bit so I could see the...
Yeah. Like that?
Yeah, thank you.
Remember, this is recording, and also immediately I will post it in YouTube. Do you receive the email with the link with the YouTube, no? And remember, if you subscribe in my channel, you have extra 5 points in any test, in each test. Okay? Any question? Do you understand very well?
Wait, sir, hold up. One question. You said if we subscribe to your YouTube channel, we get 5 extra points on every single test.
Yeah.
All right, bet. Thank you.
Okay, so try to do. Take advantage. Number 6. I received a lot of notification from my. Suppose. Okay, no, don't worry. I have in the bell, when I click in the bell of the YouTube, I see your name. So I copy the name, one piece of paper. When I grade the test, I include 5 extra points for the subscription in my YouTube channel. I to the minus 20. So this is a negative exponent. It's similar, but a little bit different because negative exponent means reciprocal. Okay, 20. So say you divide 20 by hand, by 4, always by 4, right? F5 20, remainder 0. So this is 1 over I to the 0 power. Okay. I to the 0 power, or any expression, any number to the 0 power is 1. 1 over 1, the answer is 1, just 1. And makes sense because when the power, it doesn't matter, get positive or negative, it's exact multiple of 4, the answer is 1. So for example, I to the 4 is 1. Whereas I to the 8 is also 1. I to the 12 is also 1. I to the 16 is also 1. I to the 20 is also 1. I to the 24 is also 1. Some people, Joel asked me, what is the YouTube name? Okay. Systematically, every class, I will send email with the link que connect it directly to the video. The name is my name, okay? The name is my name. Jorge Taboada, College Algebra. This is the name of the channel. Okay, it's super easy to find. You go to the home page for the YouTube, you put in my name, and that's it. End the story. Okay, thank you. Well, okay, number 7. Don't interrupt me anymore. After when the class is over, I need now a question about mathematics. No, You do, no. 7. 7 is I to the 9 minus 9. Reciprocal. Okay, and 9 divided by 4. Remainder 1. It's I. Just I. 1 over I. Leave it like that, no. No, you need to division. Division 1 gets a real number divided by I gets imaginary number. And the systematic procedure for division, you multiply top and bottom by the conjugate of the complex number in the denominator. Entonces minus I divided by negative I squared. But I know que I squared is negative 1. I know the fact que I squared is negative 1. And this negative 1 and other negative 1 que we have in the front become positive, entonces 1. Entonces minus I over 1. But 1 is invisible. Invisible multiplier, invisible divisor. The answer is just negative I. Any question?
Wait, I thought that you only. I thought that you only did it by the remainder.
Yeah. I don't care the rest, miss.
Oh, because I thought that you were doing it by 2 because you put I squared equals negative 1.
Well, the thing is, I remember, so by memory, I remember that I alone is I squared is negative 1, I cubed is negative I, and I4 is 1 positive. This is the basic column. The rest of the column, this column, this column. So what mean this column? I to the 5th, I to the 6th, I to the 7, I to the 8, and so on, no? Suppose I to the 7, I to the 7. You take 7 divided by 4, always by 4. The reason it's by divided by 4 is because this part is repeated 4 by 4. Okay, this is the column 0. This is the column 1. This is the column 2, and so on. Okay. No subscribe my channel now because I receive notification. You interrupt me. You are not good disciplined students. Okay.
Sorry.
Listen. Let me explain. You divide by 4. Que es obvio que es 1. Es 4. Remainder 3. This 1 means indicate column 1. So the 7 belong. Make sense, no? Belong to. But these 3 indicate their position. Position is position 1, position 2, position 3. Oh, here. So the location is column 1. This is column, position or row 3. But I don't care the column. The column is no important information. The position is a row que es important, que es exactly the same of the position of 3. Look, 7 and 3 is a family. Entonces the answer is negative. More clear or not clear? Miss?
So you, because the thing is, I'm confused on how you got I squared on the first one.
Okay. But this is by definition. You assume, you say, you memorize this. You assume this information. The column 1, the column 0, sorry. The rest of the column you can find divided by 4 and take remainder. End the story. Okay?
Excuse me, sir. How do you know if we subscribe to your channel?
Y dale con el channel. Okay, when the class is over, you ask me about channel. No, now, please. I need question about mathematics. I don't understand anything about mathematics. What about the exponent 7? What about the exponent? What is the reason you divide by 4? This is the question I want now. When the class is over,
I'm just trying to get that
I stay 1 minute. Entonces you ask me about YouTube channel, papá.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question about mathematics, please? No? Okay, let's move on to number 8. Number 8 question. Es super easy. Es addition and subtraction, complex number. Entonces, 5 plus 6i minus 1 plus 7i plus, paréntesis, 2 plus 10i. Okay. Well, you remove the parentheses, okay? And when it's positive, stay the same. But when there's negative, no. When there's negative subtraction, you change the sign. The positive stays the same sign. Now we combine later. Real, real, and real. 5 minus 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. Imaginary, 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 imaginary. 6 minus 7 is negative I. Negative 1, no negative I. Negative I plus 10 is 9. I positive. Any question? I don't know why this elementary question, some people fail. Because some believe. Sabrina, know what? Sabrina held. What is your point, Sabrina? No question. Okay. Okay. Super easy. However, I explained that some students apply FOIL. No, FOIL is multiplication. FOIL is multiplication. No addition, no subtraction. Only remove the parentheses and that's it. Okay, let's move on to the question 9. Question 9. Question 9 is, this is A minus 5I. Multiplication 2 plus 6I. Multiplication by 4 plus 2I. We have multiplication 3 complex numbers. You don't see any symbol here of the arithmetic operation, but you suppose que es time. You suppose que es multiplication. Okay? Default is the period, it's time. So when you multiply 3 things in mathematics, we can apply the associative property. You make a decision, multiply the first and the second, and the answer of this multiplied by the third. But not necessarily in that order. The order doesn't change. So you, for example, you multiply B, C, and after multiplication by A, or you multiply A and C, finally multiply by B. Okay, this is an associative property. It's valid always in the multiplication, any real and complex number. But okay, let's do it in the classical order. You multiply A minus 5I, I make a decision to multiply the first and the second, and you FOIL. This is 16. This is 48I. This is minus 10I. And this is minus 30I squared. But I know the I squared is -1. So never, you leave it like that, the final answer never includes I squared because I squared is real, it's -1. So this -1 and this -1 together become positive. So 16 plus 48I minus 10I plus 30. Do you understand this? I change the sign. Now we combine 46, real, imaginary. It's minus 38I. Is the final answer? No. This is the answer only of the multiplication of the first and the second. This and this. Now finally, I need to multiply the new result times the last complex number. Okay, so we can use a calculator, of course. Anytime in this subject, we can use a calculator. This is called algebra. My intention, my objective is algebra, no arithmetic. So 46 times 4, I put in my calculator is 184. 46 times 2 is 92. 92. All right, let me check in just in case. 46 times 2. Yeah. Now 38 times 4 is minus 38 times 4 is 152 I. Because here include I. And finally, 38 times 2 is 76. Is minus 76I squared. Again, one more time. This is a classical problem in the multiplication. You replace I squared from -1 to say actually we have 184 plus 92I minus 152I plus 76. And we combine real part and real part. 184 plus 76. The answer is 260. Minus, because it's 152 subtracting 94, no? 92, 92, 90. No, 94, 94, 92. Is 60, 60, 60, 60, negative 60. That is the final answer. Any question, guy? Maybe in the test I put, no, Kati Turcios. He said, no question. In the test, not necessarily I put three complex numbers. I put only two, because super is. It's one, just one step. And that's it. Okay, let's do one more of the operation of the complex number. And that's it. Say goodbye, complex number. Suppose number 10. 10 is a division. Es a compound computation que incluye subtraction and division, ¿no? Entonces, 4 plus 2i, paréntesis, minus 6 minus 4i. I put a bracket here, but it doesn't matter. Divided by 2 plus 3i. Okay, according to the order of operation, we are doing the operation inside the grouping symbol first. So we are doing that operation first. Entonces I copy separately. 4 plus 2i. By the way, I removed the parenthesis. Minus 6 plus 4i. Because this minus affects everything inside the second complex number, no? And we combine like term. This is minus 2. And this is 6i. So my problem so far is, in the top, we have minus 2 plus 6i. In the bottom, we have 2 plus 3i. Okay, now division. Division is always the same. You multiply top and bottom by the conjugate of the complex number in the denominator, 2 minus 3i. This is the technical name is this guy is conjugate. Conjugate. Conjugate means that you change the sign of the imaginary part and the real part stays the same. And when you multiply this and this, we study in the lecture one shortcut to do super fast. Okay, you multiply 2 times 2 gets 4, and 3 times 3 gets 9, and plus. Always plus. If you want, I prove again, no? The answer is 13. So very, very important conclusion. When you multiply any complex number, this is a special problem. When you multiply any complex number times its conjugate, the answer is real, no I anymore. And the shortcut to do fast is multiplication, real, imaginary. I don't care the sign, I don't care the I. Okay? Now, in the top, no, the top is no special product, it's a regular FOIL. It's negative 2 times positive 2 is negative 4. Negative 2 times negative 3i is 6i. 6i times 2 is 12. I and positive 6i and negative 18 I squared. Okay, one more time we replace I squared for negative 1. So we have at the top negative 4 plus 16i plus 12i plus 18. When we combine later. Okay, entonces real is negative 14. No, positive 14.
Professor, 60,
But let me finish. Entonces you ask me. You can ask me any question. So basically, the only thing I did was replace I squared for negative 1. Double negative become positive. Now ready to combine at least in the top part, no? The top part. So negative 4 and positive 18 is positive 14. And this together is 28, no? 28, yeah, 28, positive 28. Okay, so now don't forget this 13 that we have in the bottom. Okay, and the super elegant way, no, this is the correct answer. However, more clear, more elegant is you divide 14 over 13. So you split this 13 and 28 over 13. And this is my beautiful final answer. Question, miss, come on, go ahead. Question.
No, I got it. Thank you.
No problem. So you waiting for me when I finish. I give you the opportunity to ask me a question. So there's no problem with the arithmetic of the complex number and the test. You can find multiple square root of the negative number. We can find I to the any power, positive or negative. We can find addition, subtraction, complex number. You can find multiplication, complex number, and division of complex number. Okay? Okay, let's move on to the quadratic equation. Quadratic equation is super easy. Remember, quadratic equation, for example, number 11. Number 11. Number 11. Is we study different way to solve the quadratic equation, no? One way was using the square root method. Another way is using the quadratic formula. Another way is by complete the square. So in the test, you need to select the best way. However, one specific equation is mandatory doing by completed square. But in this case, it's obvious that the easy way is apply square root, because I take advantage that somebody, not me, do the factorization that part. So when you apply square root both sides, this is square root and this is square cancel out each other. Okay, this is p plus 7 only, without square root and without square. And 19 is a prime number. So plus and minus square root 19. You leave it like that. Don't forget double sign, plus and minus, because we have two solutions. And finally, p is equal minus 7 plus and minus square root 19. End the story. It's the final answer. In this case, the solution of this equation is irrational number. Irrational. Leave it like that. Any question, guys?
Yes. You said that the quadratic formula. Sorry. What is the name of this quadratic formula?
No, a square root.
Okay, so you say that the square root can be solved by a quadratic formula for 3 different ways, right?
Yeah. You can see with me now. This is the first way. It's called a square root. And, the next example is repetition again, square root. But in 13 question and 14 is the quadratic formula, and 15 and 16 is a completed square. Now we cover everything in the review. Okay? Okay. Let's do more to the 12 question, que is similar to the 11. It's another example of the square root. Is p minus 10 squared equal to 100. Again, a square root both sides. P minus 10 alone without square and square root, and plus and minus square root 200. And we can simplification. Of course, we can simplification because square root 200 is 2 and 100. And square root 2 is square root, but square root 100 is 10. Entonces, the answer is p minus 10 plus and minus equal first. Equal plus and minus 10 radical 2. So this is 10 radical 2 and 10. It's irrational again. Now, finally, p is equal 10 plus and minus 10 radical 2, because the only thing I did was I bring negative 10 to the right-hand side of the positive. Final answer. Any question? This is a classical example in which you solving the square root. In this case, the best way is apply square root, because somebody do the factorization, no? So you see in the standard form, no good square root. So square root is applied when somebody do the factorization of the trinomial, or B is missing, and the B is missing. Any question, guys? My recommendation is take advantage. Okay, this test is super easy. The first test, the most of the students pass with a good grade. There are some students that no, because some students don't care the class, no? But the majority of the students have no problem in the first test. And the second, yes. Okay, look, x squared plus x plus 5. This is 13 problem. This is obvious that the best way in that case is using the quadratic formula. Let me explain in detail. In this case, this equation is already expressed in standard form. And you can identify who is A, B, C. A is 1, B is 1, and C is 5. And you apply the quadratic formula. This is our famous quadratic formula. You just plug it in into the formula, one by one number, minus 1, because B is 1, you know, plus and minus, square root, 1 squared, B again is 1, minus 4, multiplication by 1, que es A, multiplication by 5, que es C, divided by 2 times 1. Okay, now we are doing always the operation inside the radical. According to the order of operation, we focus in this part. Okay, 1 squared is 1. Minus 4 times 1 times 5 is 20. It's a minus 19. Now square root, don't forget this big square root. Square root negative 19, oh, is imaginary. I square root positive 19. Remember, 19 is a prime number. We cannot simplification more. And so far, my problem look like that. Minus 1 plus and minus I radical 19 divided by 2, no? Because 2 times 1 is 2. Now leave it like that. You can, but more elegant is split this common denominator in two pieces. Negative 1/2 plus and minus I radical 19 over 2. This is more elegant. Because normally, when the answer is a complex number, you express the real part and the imaginary part. Okay? Any question?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
When I did, we had a problem similar in the homework, and I did that, and I thought that when you are at the end, when you have the square negative 19, sorry, it's a square 19i, and I put the I inside the square, not outside. Why you put it outside?
No, totally wrong. The formula means is you have, for example, square root any negative number. We compute the square root of the positive number. You ignore temporarily this negative and you put the I here. Here or here, whatever you want. Doesn't matter, it's a product. Okay? But if it's completely wrong, so you put the I inside. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Oh, no. No good.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So for the number on like for example, where it says 1 minus 20 equals negative 19, you always square the last number?
Yeah, of course. Because the last number that you call is the result of the part that I highlight in blue color. So the order of operation is you perform the operation inside the square root, and after you apply the square root. Okay?
Okay.
Super. Good question. I like that question. Let me practice one more. 14. 14 is similar. No, yeah, it's similar. X squared plus x plus 1 equals 0. Okay, it's already expressed the equation in standard. How do you know it's standard? Standard is ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. This is the standard form to represent And so this is giving a standard. I don't need to manipulate. No, it's perfect. Sometimes no, sometimes you need to move in order to express a standard, but no, in this case, super clear identification that A, B, and C are 1, 1, 1. One coefficient, and one coefficient. Invisible. Entonces, I plug it into my formula. Okay, everything is 1. And negative 1 plus and minus square root 1 square minus 4 times 1 times 1 divided by 2 times 1. Okay, again, I make a zoom to see more clear the problem. I focus in the operation inside the parentheses, inside the radical, sorry. This is 1, this is 4, and subtracting is negative 3. Now square root negative 3 is I square root positive 3. E3 is prime number. So negative 1 plus or minus I square root 3 over 2. Finally, split the common denominator 1/2 is the real part of this solution. So actually, the solution of the equation, our equation, is 2 complex numbers. And any complex number, we can express it like a real part and imaginary part. Okay, this is the real part. Negative 1/2 is the real part. The imaginary part is radical 3 over 2. Any question? No? I suppose que es super clear, super. Go ahead.
So the correct way of writing it is separate, like.
Yeah. But this is totally elegant. A cosmetic part. Suppose you leave it like that in the test. I consider it good.
Okay.
Okay? But remember, the mathematics have your own style. And normally, when you express any complex number, you express it separately, real part and imaginary part. Okay, let's move on to the 15, 16, que es combine completed square. Entonces, remember, I explained 45 times, now this is 46 times I explained. In the test, you can find one question que I want que you solve it by completing the square. So you solve it correct by quadratic formula, because I like so much quadratic formula, you have no point, 0 point for you. Because it's mandatory and specification, this question, this equation, you have to solve it mandatory by completing square. Correct?
Meaning that it's going to be that it has to be solved by that form.
I don't understand because your audio is interrupted. Blah 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 blah. Come on, speak loudly and clear and slow.
It means that you're going to write it that it has to be solved by that form.
So I promise. Okay, one question of the test on paper, you need to solving exactly the same. The question 15, one quadratic equation using the method is called completed square. Okay, so you solve it by another way, no credit. This is the point. This is the issue. Okay? Clear or confusing?
Clear.
In the test, I specification clear. Solving by completed square. Another way, no credit. So what is the technique for solving by completed square? Well, you bring down x squared, you bring down 4x, then no. Then I move to the right-hand side. And here, you put a box, and inside the box, you put the magic number that completed the square. And what is the formula for finding the magic number? B over 2 square. In our specific example, B is 4. Remember, this is A, x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. B is 4. B is 4 divided by 2 the formula square. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 2 squared is 4. It's a coincidence que es 4 here. And you copy this new magic number case I introduced totally artificially, because this is magic, because this trinomial now is perfect square trinomial. Perfect square trinomial. What mean to be perfect square trinomial? Well, the factorization is only one parenthesis, not 2x plus 2 squared. In the right hand side, we have minus 6. We combine negative 10 and positive 4. Okay. Now you are ready now in this example to apply square root finally. Square root both sides. Square root both sides. X plus 2 is equal plus and minus. Don't forget plus and minus never. This is imaginary I square root 6. And 6, unfortunately, is impossible simplification because 6 is 2 and 3. We have no couple of factors to simplification. Now, finally, x is equal. I move 2 to the other side like a minus 2 plus or minus I like a 6. And this is my elegant final answer. Any question? What part you don't see very well? Do you understand very well the magic number?
No, I don't. Can you please repeat it?
Of course. The magic number is a number que in our example 4, que you introduce totally artificially in order to convert this trinomial like a perfect square trinomial. What means to be perfect square trinomial? Let me show you. Look, x squared plus 4x plus 4. When you are doing the factorization, you know, okay, any trinomial, the factorization is 2 binomial, but in this case, a coincidence is 2 and 2. Why? Because 2 times 2 is 4 and 2 plus 2 is 4. It's not a coincidence. This is a fact. I create artificially this magic number to happen that situation. X plus plus, so we can condense it in only one. X plus 2 squared. When this situation happens, when the one trinomial, the factorization is 2 twins factors, this is called perfect square trinomial. And it's fantastic because after that, well, you are ready to apply a square root method. So you apply square root both sides, eliminate the square. On the right hand side, don't forget plus and minus. In this case, a negative quantity inside the radical. That is the reason que es I. Pero si es no negative, entonces es real. And finally, solve for x. Move to the right hand side like a minus 2, and that's it. Clear the idea for the magic number?
Thank you, yeah.
No, pleasure. Let's do one more. Let's do one more to illustrate very well any problem with the completed square. Guys, this review is very, very similar to the test. Okay, so you understand very well everything, you will be able to do well in the test. X squared plus 6x plus 18 equal to 0. And they want, can you solve it by completing square? Okay, I try. You bring down x squared, you bring down 6x. Entonces 18 don't match very well with the rest. I move 18 to this. Entonces I introduce artificially the magic number que allow me to convert this trinomial like a perfect square. What is the magic number? In that case, what is the magic number, please? Who help me?
3.
No, 3 no. It's 9. Because you forgot the square. So remember, you divided by 2b. Well, b is obvious que 6. You divide by 2. So you want, you are doing step by step, no? And finally square. Okay, the 6 divided by 2 is square. 6 divided by 2 is obvious que 3. And 3 square is 9. 9 is the magic number. You put 9 here, and you put 9 here, right?
Yes.
Super. After that, what is the factorization of this trinomial? I know que es perfect square trinomial. What is the factorization? I suppose que it's only one parenthesis, no? because they are twin factors, no? Twins brother factors. And inside here we have the square root this guy gets x. And the square root 9 gets 3. Ooh, and plus. Because that sign is plus. And in the right hand side we have negative 9, no? Negative 18 plus 9 is negative 9. Now ready to apply square root both sides. X plus 3 is equal plus and minus 3i. Because the square root 9 is 3, it's negative, it's imaginary. Final answer then, I move 3 to the other side, minus 3 plus and minus 3i. Actually, we have two solutions, no? And these solutions are complex. Any question?
No questions.
Oh, it's easy, it's super easy. No, it's super easy. It's super easy. Okay, let's move on to the 17. So I promise you can see one equation que you can solve it by square root method. Another equation, another example que you solve it by quadratic formula. Another equation que you mandatory solve it by complete square. The student says, no, I don't like, professor. No, I don't like, but it's mandatory solve it by complete square. And another question que is no quadratic anymore. No. Look. Suppose example 17. Example 17. Look like that. Okay. Actually, this is no quadratic equation. This is polynomial equation. By the way, the degree of this polynomial equation is 4. The degree means the higher exponent. When this situation happens, polynomial equation, degree 4, we expect, when you finish the problem, we expect 4 solutions, exactly the same amount of the degree. 4 solutions. A quadratic equation, I know the degree is 2, and we expect 2 solutions. Now, this is typical problem, more complicated. You see one at least in the test. But how you solving this one? You solving because I realize that this equation is also quadratic in form. And this is important, guys, que you understand this. What means to be quadratic in form? Bueno, we have two exponents, 4 and 2. And the connection in between 4 and 2 is 2. So 4 is twice 2. And when this situation happens, this equation is quadratic. The quadratic from this equation, when you have two exponents, in this example 4 and 2, but maybe it's another number. In the next example is 6 and 3. But the relationship is twice. One, the greater one is twice the smaller one. Because when this situation happens, we can apply U substitution. U is a new auxiliary variable que is equal always the variable que contains the smaller exponent. And when you are doing the substitution, when you replace in the original equation, you replace U, this is 6, stay the same. It's a minus 5U because by definition was the x squared is U, and it's a U squared. Why is a square? The reason is twice. So you define that you are long to the 1 power is C squared, C4, que C4 in my mind look like a C squared square. And the definition was que C squared is U, this is U, entonces this is U squared. Okay, now magically happen that this new equation is quadratic equation. That you convert, this is classical, guys, in college algebra. Equation quadratic in front. Don't forget that name because we see from today to the last day of this semester. You see solution quadratic in front, quadratic in front, quadratic in front. Now we convert to quadratic equation, use substitution. Use substitution. Now we focus in the quadratic equation. In this case, super easy by factorization. It's elementary, que is 3 and 2, no? Because 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 plus 2 is 5, and negative both. Okay, I suppose you remember factorization, guys. If you don't remember, you are in big trouble. Therefore, u minus 3 equals 0. I split the paper into parts, apply the zero factor property. Therefore, u is 3 and u is 2. And this is the final answer. No. Why no? Remember, the idea was I have a complicated equation. Okay, the original variable is z. I convert this complicated equation, polynomial degree 4, in one super easy quadratic equation, but using auxiliary variable. Yeah, I found the value of the u, que es 3 and 2. Now I need to retrieve. I need to find the value of the original variable. But I know, sorry, I forgot here. I put x, it's no x, it's z. So c squared is equal to 3 and c squared is equal to 2. Entonces, finally, I have two elementary quadratic equations that we can solve using a square root method. Square root both sides, square root both sides, square root both sides, square root both sides. Z is equal plus or minus radical 3. Here, Z is equal plus or minus radical 2. So what is the solution set? Well, actually, we expect 4 solutions. Plus or minus radical 3, 1, 2, plus or minus radical 2, 3, and 4 solutions. This is my final answer. Any question? What part is confusing? Come on, go ahead. Go ahead. Clear or confusing?
I have a question on how do we know that we have to solve it by the U form instead using like the, for example, what we just did, the quadratic formula.
Let's do it step by step. Step number 1 is identify that this equation is quadratic in front. Do you understand this or no?
Yes.
Secondly, you apply U substitution. U substitution always is U equal the variable but raised to the smaller exponent. This is U. Therefore, si you define que U is C squared, this gets twice is U squared. Right? Now, in that moment, we have elementary quadratic equation. Do you follow me so far?
Yes.
When you focus it in the quadratic equation, you solve it by any way. I don't know, see factorization in this case, depending on the problem, or quadratic formula, or whatever you want. Now, you get the U value.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, super. Bueno, the time is over, no? The time is over. We continue. Remember, Wednesday, the review package, right? And Wednesday, when the class is over, I will send the test on paper. And I collect February 1st. Good? Everyone understand? Clear or not clear? Clear, guys? Clear. Okay, entonces I stay 1 minute. You can ask me another question about the YouTube channel. I don't know exactly what is the question that you have. Can you interrupt me when I explain mathematics? You ask me about YouTube. You understand very well YouTube or no? Now, I download the video of this and post it in my YouTube channel.